We designed the house based on the idea that we needed to downsize and leave a smaller carbon footprint. So we drew up a floor plan which was then refined by the designer, who helped ensure that we maximised the use of space. Now, our designer ensured that the Cape guidelines were met, and being a passive house meant that it had its own set of criteria via the PHPP. It helped that we engaged a local builder who was familiar with the climate and the geography. We were always interested in the idea of a passive house and its principles because we wanted to maximise comfort, health and energy efficiency. Also wanting to withstand extreme weather conditions, especially in a climate emergency that we find ourselves in, and the predictability of those in a windy coastal region. We wanted to also optimise renewable energy by going all electric, and we're convinced of the science and engineering of the method that works for Australian conditions generally. So we wanted to again support local builders committed to improving building standards and hopefully to create positive change by example to support raising current building codes to at least 7.5 stars. One of the great things about it is its low running costs, but also that it's very, very comfortable and you feel like you're in a very healthy environment, given that you've got a ventilation system that gives you fresh filtered air. It's also incredibly low maintenance, which was something that we definitely wanted to do. It's very light and bright. It's a quiet and tranquil, peaceful house, and a very efficient use of space. One of the many enjoyable aspects of living in a passive house is really experiencing those principles that it's based on, and one of them, of course, being a very, very airtight house. You enjoy the fact that you've got a ventilation system that is going 24/7. You really cannot hear it. That's the surprising thing about a heat recovery ventilation system, is that it's very, very quiet and really surprisingly uses very, very little energy. There's only 2 fans going through 2 filters, so it's really, really comfortable, and it's just so quiet, providing you with fresh, healthy air. I never get tired of operating the doors and the windows because they're just so solid, and you know that they're incredibly airtight and waterproof and definitely well engineered. What I love about them is, firstly, of course, they're low maintenance, so you won't need to be painting them on the outside. So it's aluminium on the outside and finger jointed European pine on the inside, which is FSC timber. And they're triple glazed, of course, so they're really blocking out a lot of the cold from the outside or the heat from the outside, depending on the season. There is this myth that in a passive house you can't really open the windows. Well, you can, and we open our southerly windows and then open up the northern side as well, and that way you get this lovely purging of any unwanted hot air that may accumulate on a really extremely hot day. The reassuring aspect also being in a passive house is that its building envelope is built with much wider walls, like 140 mils, that is full of insulation, and so is the floor cavity and the roof cavity, which are 200 mils, so it's much wider and thicker. And again, you're surrounded by insulation. So not only have you got your triple glazing, but the insulation is much thicker in a standard house. So some of the features that we enjoy in this house that contribute to the sustainability are the 20,000 litre water tank, natural rainwater that we use for the entire house with a submersible pump, which we find is much more quiet than your regular external pump. One of the important aspects that we have to heat up our water is a heat pump. It's incredibly efficient. It only probably uses about 2.5 kilowatts per day to heat up a 350 litre tank of water. And also, Contributing to the energy efficiency is a 6.6 kilowatt solar system that we have. We have 20 panels on the roof, and they generate a lot more energy than we could even dream of consuming. We've got LED lights that work very, very efficiently, a very efficient hot water system with that heat pump that uses very little energy, as well as the heat recovery ventilation system uses very, very little energy. With regard to external shading, we have some louvers over the north windows that work really well because they're the right width and the correct angle that they will let the sunlight in the winter to warm up the rooms, and in the summer it actually blocks them out. And we have some very, very effective shading blinds that are on the west of the house that are motorised, that block out about 85% of the UV and radiant heat. And we've found that they've been incredibly efficient to prevent any unwanted solar gain in the house. There's a number of features that we love. One of the surfaces that we really enjoy in the kitchen is the paper rock, which is a recycled paper that's highly compressed and mixed with resins to create a durable surface that's hard but not too cold. It's not like a stone surface, so it's very comfortable, very serviceable, very easy to clean. Just enjoying the expanse of the black butt timber flooring is an uplifting surface. And also there is no concrete floor. As one gets older, it's much more comfortable to walk on. And the fact that it doesn't have any thermal mass in the house, there is sufficient warmth coming in with the winter sun through the northern windows and doors. So the house warms up nicely. And what we've found also is that we've barely had to use the heating in the winter, and I don't even remember using the air conditioning during the last summer that we had.